Type A panels, I'm going to choose to model that on this side of my screen. So let's start off with a sketch on the front plane. Front plane's here. Let's pick front, hold the middle mouse wheel down, and let's slide it to one side. Choosing the rectangle tool, I'm going to do my first one just over here. Okay, like so. And I'm going to change the dimensions, as we have in our previous work, to be 160 by 72. Okay. Now what I need to do is model the details. So this one is perhaps slightly easier than the other wooden panel design. So we'll start off by adding another rectangle on the inside of my work. Okay, this has a width of 40 millimeters and has a total height of 128. It's the same window as in the other design over here. Let's model the bottom distance, which is from here to here. Okay, and we want to change that to be 20. All that's left now that we need to do on this design is we need to add our cuts going up the side here. So in order to do that, we need to pick our rectangle tool. Let's click on the bottom and let's draw a rectangle up into the air. I'm going to zoom in to make life a little bit easier and clearer, hopefully, for you. So now, selecting the dimension tool, I want the height of this to be 80. Let's do the same on the other side. Okay, like so. I want the distance from this side here and this side here to be set. But before I do that, I want the thickness of my cut. So I'm going to select either side of that line there to give me my measurement and change to be 3.5. Let's do the same on the other side. Okay, and then let's measure the distance from this line to the outer edge. And what we want to do is change that to be 6.5. We're going to repeat that for the other side, 6.5. Now, you might notice on the screen that this one here on this side, certainly this gap here, is closer than this one, because one of the things that we haven't done is measure our 40 millimeter window from the edge. So in order to do that, let's pick our window, let's pick our edge, let's place our measurement and change to 16. Because we're in the middle of dimensioning, we can dimension the top at the same time, okay, and do our little cuts. So let's do that. Okay, in order to do that, we're going to use the rectangle tool, and let's add 2 rectangles at the top of our work. This rectangle, we know, based on our other rectangles, the dimensions in terms of the width. Let me undo. Dimensions in terms of our width are 3.5. So let's change that to be 3.5 and do the same for this one. These 2 rectangles are 21.25 millimeters from the edge. So that is this rectangle, this side here, to this side should be 21.25. Let's repeat that on this side. 21.25. And lastly, we want the depth of our rectangle from the bottom here, from the top of our work, to be 6. Let's repeat the same process on this side. Okay, and so it doesn't matter on the height of these 2 rectangles, it matters on the depth of those 2 rectangles. Let's zoom out. Let's accept our sketch. use our right mouse button to spin round. Let's extrude our work. Let's extrude this shape here, and we want to extrude it a distance of 3.6 millimeters. And let's accept. So in one extrusion, we have all of our details. The last thing that we just need to do on this one is add some fillets. So let's quickly zoom in. Let's add our fillet on the corners, on the bottom. Use my mouse wheel to spin my work round. Let's add this one as well. And we want to just change that to be 6 millimeters and accept. Let's get our work back in 3D, zoom out, okay, and zoom in. So there is our first Type A panel. Let's quickly add our second Type A panel. So we'll click on the sketch, we're going to click on the front plane, let's go into 2D, we'll do our new sketch here. So with our rectangle tool selected, let's sketch our second rectangle with our dimension tool. What we now need to do is do and repeat the same measurements that we have just done with our other one. So 72 by 160. Let's get our inner rectangle for our window done. Okay, so this time we're going to do it this way. Okay, so we're going to put in our rectangle there. I'm going to choose my dimension tool. I'm going to measure the distance between those two to be 20. I'm going to measure the distance of my rectangle, the width. Well, actually, we'll do the height just now. Okay, we'll just get that one to be 128. So we know that that's correct. Now let's measure our width. We'll get that to be 40, and then we need to measure the distance from the side, like so. Okay, so just as we had done previously, we want that distance to be 16. So it sets our rectangle into the middle. Okay. Then what we want to do is we want to do our cuts up the side again. So like last time, okay, we'll draw one. We'll draw one on this side, and then we need to measure the width to be 3.5. Like so, and then we want the height to be 80. Okay, like so. And then lastly, like last time, what we need to do is get that distance from the edge correct. So from here to the side, we want to be 6.5, and we're going to do the same on the opposite side. So the last thing then that we need to do is add our small cuts, but this time we're doing them at the bottom. So with the rectangle tool, let's add in one rectangle, let's add in our second, let's measure them. Okay, 3.5. Let's get this one measured, 3.5. Then we want to measure from this edge here to the side, and like last time, 21.25. The same on this side. And then finally, the height between those two lines to be 6. Let's do that on this side. There's all our measurements. Okay, so let's accept our sketch. Let's spin round in 3D. We'll click extrude. We'll pick our shape. We'll type in our distance of 3.6. Select that, and then finally we'll pick the fillet tool. We're just going to zoom in. I'm going to use my cube to just change the angle. We'll collect those two top edges, and just like a moment ago, we're going to get the bottom edge. bottom edge, I'm going to change that to be 6. Let's accept and zoom out, which will leave us with our Type A panels.